Politics, the noble pursuit of... Wait, who are we kidding? It's more like a high-stakes game of chess where every move is calculated, every word scrutinized, and every gesture analyzed. The stakes? Nothing less than the future of our society. It's a circus, a dumpster fire, a chaotic whirlwind of opinions, ideologies, and power plays. The streets are filled with passionate voices, each one clamoring to be heard above the din. It's messy, it's loud, and it's anything but straightforward. A reality show where the contestants are vying for the Iron Throne of power, and the only prize is the soul-crushing weight of governing a nation more divided than a pizza at a vegan convention. Politicians debate fiercely on stage, each trying to outdo the other with promises and rhetoric. Meanwhile, the streets are a battleground, with protesters clashing with police, each side convinced of their own righteousness. But hey, at least it's entertaining, right? Political satire events draw crowds who laugh at the absurdity of it all. Friends gather in parks discussing the latest political drama as if it were the newest episode of their favorite TV show. The spectacle of politics has become a part of our daily lives, a never-ending source of conversation and debate. From the passionate protests to the cringe-worthy campaign ads, American politics has become a spectator sport. Campaign posters line the streets, each one vying for attention with bold colors and catchy slogans. Enthusiastic supporters rally behind their chosen candidates, their energy palpable as they march through the streets, chanting and waving signs. And just like any good gladiatorial contest, it's full of drama, intrigue, and enough backstabbing to make Julius Caesar blush. Intense debates rage on, with politicians shaking hands and making promises, while behind the scenes alliances are formed and broken in the blink of an eye. The expressions on the faces of protesters tell a story of passion, frustration, and determination. So grab your popcorn, folks, because things are about to get interesting. Whether you're watching from the comfort of your home or joining a viewing party with friends, the drama of politics is sure to keep you on the edge of your seat. The stakes are high, the players are fierce, and the outcome is anyone's guess. Welcome to the Thunderdome of politics, where the only certainty is uncertainty. Remember the good old days when protests involved angry mobs shaking their fists at the sky? Those were the times when the streets echoed with chants, and the air was thick with the smell of burning effigies. People gathered in masses, united by a common cause, their voices rising in unison to demand change. It was raw, it was powerful, and it was often chaotic. Yeah, those days are so 2023. Today, the landscape of protest has evolved, reflecting the changing times and the creative spirit of the new generation. Gone are the days when sheer numbers and loud voices were the only tools of dissent. Now we see a blend of art, culture, and activism coming together in the most unexpected ways. Welcome to the age of the dance protest, where activists express their discontent through the power of interpretive movement. It's a fascinating shift where the language of protest is no longer just spoken or shouted, but danced. These activists use their bodies as instruments of resistance, each movement a statement, each step a declaration. Forget picket signs and bullhorns. These revolutionaries are armed with nothing but jazz hands and a dream. Their signs are often artistic, their messages conveyed through the fluidity of their movements. It's a form of protest that is as much about the message as it is about the medium. The creativity on display is nothing short of inspiring. I mean, sure, it's not exactly storming the Bastille, but in a world where violence often begets more violence, these peaceful demonstrations offer a refreshing alternative. They remind us that there are many ways to fight for what we believe in, and that sometimes the most powerful statements are made without uttering a single word. But hey, at least it's more entertaining than watching paint dry. These protests are not just about making a point, they're about engaging people, drawing them in with the allure of performance. They capture the imagination, making the cause more relatable and accessible to a wider audience. And who knows, maybe if we're lucky, we'll get a flash mob out of it. Imagine walking down the street and suddenly being swept up in a wave of synchronized movement, each dancer a part of a larger story. It's spontaneous, it's exciting, and it brings a sense of community and shared purpose. In the end, whether through traditional means or innovative expressions, the spirit of protest remains the same: a call for change, a demand for justice, and a hope for a better future. Democrats, bless their hearts, are like that friend who brings a strongly worded letter to a gunfight. They're all about reasoned debate, thoughtful policy proposals, and appealing to the better angels of our nature. Which is all well and good, except when you're dealing with an opposition that gets their news from Facebook memes and thinks climate change is a hoax invented by Big Windmill. It's like trying to explain the nuances of quantum physics to a goldfish. Sure, you can try, but don't expect it to end well. Remember when your grandma told you that if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all? Yeah, well, your grandma clearly wasn't cut out for a career in politics. Because in the arena of American democracy, silence is not golden. It's a sign of weakness. And if there's one thing politicians hate more than losing, it's looking weak. So instead of engaging in productive dialogue, they resort to shouting matches, personal attacks, and enough mudslinging to make a pig farmer blush. Hey, at least it's good for a laugh, right? Here's Section 5, Maxine Waters, Unleashing the Fury and the F-bombs. Speaking of not mincing words, let's talk about the queen of no-holds-barred political discourse, Auntie Maxine Waters. Known for her fiery speeches and unfiltered commentary, Maxine Waters has become a symbol of unapologetic truth-telling in American politics. Her ability to cut through the noise and speak directly to the issues at hand has earned her a dedicated following and a fair share of critics. But love her or hate her, there's no denying the impact she's had on the political landscape. This woman is a national treasure. Her speeches are not just words, they are a call to action, a rallying cry for those who feel unheard and marginalized. When Maxine Waters speaks, people listen. They feel empowered, inspired, and ready to take on the challenges that lie ahead. Her passion is infectious, and her commitment to justice is unwavering. She's like the fiery grandma who's not afraid to tell it like it is, even if it means dropping a few F-bombs along the way. Her no-nonsense approach is a breath of fresh air in a world where political correctness often stifles genuine expression. Maxine Waters doesn't just speak her mind, she speaks the truth, and she does it with a fervor that is both admirable and intimidating. And you know what? Sometimes that's exactly what we need. In times of crisis and uncertainty, a voice that cuts through the clutter and speaks directly to our hearts is invaluable. Maxine Waters provides that voice. She reminds us that it's okay to be angry, to demand better, and to hold those in power accountable. Her speeches are a reminder that democracy is not a spectator sport. It's something we all must actively participate in. Because in a world of carefully crafted soundbites and political doublespeak, a little bit of raw, unfiltered honesty can be downright refreshing. Maxine Waters embodies that honesty. She doesn't sugarcoat the issues or shy away from controversy. Instead, she tackles them head-on, with a courage and conviction that is rare in today's political climate. Her willingness to speak truth to power, even when it's uncomfortable, is what sets her apart. Just don't tell your grandma she has a new role model. Maxine Waters' fearless approach to politics is something we can all learn from, regardless of our age or background. She teaches us that it's okay to be bold, to be passionate, and to never back down from what we believe in. So the next time you find yourself in a heated debate or facing a tough challenge, channel a little bit of Auntie Maxine's spirit. You might just find that her brand of unfiltered honesty is exactly what you need to make a difference. Section 6. Bernie's back, baby. Oligarchs beware, he's back, he's tan, he's ready to dismantle the billionaire class. That's right, folks, Bernie Sanders is back for another round, and this time he's got a bone to pick with the oligarchy. Forget Medicare for all Bernies coming for their yachts, their private jets, and their offshore bank accounts. He's like Robin Hood if Robin Hood wore dad jeans and had a Brooklyn accent. Section 7. Godzilla versus the GOP. A monster mash of policy mayhem. Remember that scene in Godzilla where the giant lizard rampages through Tokyo, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake? Yeah, that's pretty much what it's like watching the GOP try to govern these days. From attacking voting rights to defunding education to denying climate change, their policies are about as popular as a skunk at a picnic, and just as destructive. Section 8. Politicians and pop culture, a match made in meme heaven. Let's be honest, folks, politics can be about as exciting as watching paint dry. That's why it's always refreshing when our elected officials decide to spice things up with a little pop culture flair, whether it's a politician awkwardly quoting a Taylor Swift lyric or comparing themselves to a character from Game of Thrones. These attempts at relatability are usually more cringeworthy than endearing, but hey, at least they're trying, right? Section 9. Injecting some fun into the dysfunction can politics be saved from itself? So there you have it, folks. A glimpse into the wacky world of American politics. It's a world where protests are ballets, politicians are pop culture connoisseurs, and the fate of the free world hangs in the balance. But hey, at least it's never boring, right? Now, if you'll excuse me, I need a stiff drink.